when you compare like quality, if you compare the quality of the ingredients, you can't get better ingredients.
Nope.
We that's the one thing that we are 100% in agreement on. We find the best shit we could find and sell that.
That's it. Yeah, it's not a question of, well, this is a little too expensive.
No.
We never do that. And an example of that is, a product I wanted to talk to you about is our Shroom Tech Sport. And that uses a healthy dose of Cordyceps sinensis, which for a time being was the most expensive nutritional supplement in the world when they had to wild harvest it. And we found a company in Nevada that cultivates it in a really scientific manner, in a competitive brown rice substrate. So these mushrooms are all fighting each other. And apparently, like humans or like other animals, being competitive brings the best strain out of the mushroom. And then not only are we getting the best Cordyceps sinensis, then their micronization process, so you absorb it, they're putting together smaller, granules and molecules of the Cordyceps so that you're able to absorb it. And the effect is that the Shroom Tech Sport, with the Cordyceps, along with the other nutrients we put together, has a dramatic impact where, all the athletes we give it to, they say, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, there's something here.
Yeah, that's 100%. I have not got 100% positive feedback on Alpha Brain because people that have taken Alpha Brain, they vary widely. They vary from athletes to complete non-athletes to alcoholics, people I know that are just nuts. I've given it to a lot of people. Most of them have had positive results. But everyone that I've given Shroom Tech to is athletic. Everyone that is interested in something like Shroom Tech does martial arts, does CrossFit, does something very strenuous. And I've said, look, just try this before you work out. Tell me what you think. Here it is for free. Yeah. And they go, where the fuck do I buy that? This is incredible. Yeah. Because it's rare that you get something that works so good that's not a stimulant. It's not something that like you're all jacked up, like you're going to have a heart attack. Like, yeah, I got through the race, but I think I got to go to a doctor now. Like, it gives you an extra push in your workout that for me is very tangible, and again, there's science behind it, and it's fascinating to find things like that are available. It's fascinating to find things that really do improve performance and are currently legal.
Yeah, that's very important. Currently. And we'll stay that way. I mean, when you look at the things that are illegal, generally there's a dark side of it, some kind of bad side effect. Ephedra, sure, it worked, but that's going to get your heart doing things that you probably don't want it to do. Whereas the science behind something like Cordyceps sinensis is, and what really attracted me to it, was a study that showed up to a 50% improvement in oxygen utilization. So these breaths that people are taking, they're supplying more oxygen to their muscles, which of course for an athlete is going to mean more endurance, more stamina, better recovery, all the things that an athlete is looking for without that palm sweaty, jittery, oh my God, I better hit somebody or I'm going to freak out kind of feeling.
Well, tell people how they found this out, because it's totally fascinating how they even found out that this mushroom had this effect.
Sure. In a lot of these old pastoral cultures, they would take cues from the animals and what they would eat in a certain situation. So if an animal was sick, they'd be like, oh, this animal is eating this plant when it's, shitting itself to death. Maybe we should look at that for dysentery. In this case, the herdsmen in northern China and in Tibet, I believe, were looking around and their herds would eat these caterpillar mushrooms called Cordyceps sinensis. And when they would do that, even at these really high altitudes, which makes people and animals sluggish, even at these high altitudes, the herds would be frolicking, playing, humping, screwing around. And so the herdsmen said, interesting, when these herds are eating this mushroom, they get much more energetic. They seem to have more vibrancy, even in this high altitude. And so they started eating the mushrooms as well, felt the same thing, and a new Chinese medicine was born, like many of the other ones had before.
And how did they originally cultivate it?
Originally, it was just wild harvested. So it forms a symbiotic relationship with the moths called the ghost moth. And it works with, a lot of people think it takes over the moth, then explodes it, but it only does that after the moth is dead. So they believe, they don't know, they haven't talked to a lot of moths, but they believe that it's symbiotic in the fact that the cordyceps is actually helping the moth utilize oxygen better and allow it to go to higher elevations than it normally would. And then what the cordyceps receives is when the moth dies, the cordyceps use the corpse of the moth as fuel to grow the mushroom.
And to explode and blow its spores all over the place.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they do, there's a similar effect with ants with another strain of cordyceps mushroom.
Cordyceps militaris. It's another type of...
Militaris sounds very military.
Yeah, and that's another good medicine as well, but it's a different program. I don't know if that works well with the ants or not. I haven't thought about that. But these these mycologists have found ways to grow it without the animals. So no moths are harmed in the making of shroom to export if you like moths.
Yeah, if you're super pro moth, you don't sweat it. You could still take one of those and do your spin class.